Good afternoon, good morning, or good night, whatever it may be, wherever you are when you're watching this. Mike Kelley here, architectural photographer, bringing you another round of website critiques and portfolio critiques. As you guys know, these are open to anyone who has purchased any of my educational materials in the past. If you want to find out more about those, the link can be found down in the comments box below. So you guys kind of know the drill at this point. I'm not going to waste too much time explaining what's going on here. We're going to jump right in and start critiquing Christian's website. Now, here's the site right here. I loaded it up for you, ready to go. And what I see immediately, it looks like he is a real estate photographer / interiors, maybe a little bit of architectural photography based in the Pacific Northwest. And just my thoughts on the landing page. Personally, the logo doesn't really grab me as a high-end. As a high-end logo, it doesn't really grab me. What I feel like this is kind of like a mid-level, mid-priced photography service. I feel like the logo, if you wanted to take your photography and kick it up to a more high-end audience, you would definitely want to do some refining of the logo. It looks like something that was kind of thrown together in Photoshop in an hour or something. I think the typeface is a little bit cheesy. It's 2016. Typeface feels a little bit 2005 to me, but that's really a pretty simple fix. I don't have a problem with you having the location on there. I might want to call it like Pacific Northwest instead of Seattle, Tacoma. It kind of limits yourself right off the bat. Let's see. So we'll go in and take a look at the portfolio. All right, architectural and interiors photography. So one thing that's sort of a conflict for me is that it says architectural and interiors photography, but just judging by the verbiage on the website, the choice of words and choice of what's shown here, I kind of get like a real estate vibe from this. Yeah, so in your portfolio, it says you're an architectural and interiors photographer. Your rates say that you're a real estate photographer. It's like, are you one or the other? I would try to focus on, if you're a real estate photographer, there's nothing wrong with that, but own it. If you're an architectural photographer, ditch the real estate stuff from the website. But we'll get into that a bit more later. Let's look at the portfolio for right now. So here's some images. Here's what we have. I would not use this as your lead image. It is a lot bit unbalanced. It's basically a picture of a chrome bedpole. The personal effects you could take out, that sort of thing. This is a bit, of a stronger image. Lighting's a little bit flat. Again, you've got that beautiful light source behind everything. Use it, don't nuke it. Here we go. Now we're starting to get into some bit nicer photographs. I love this photo. This could be the lead instead of the bedpost, if you will. This one as well, very nice. And, there's little things that I notice here, like the crooked lampshades and some questionable staging calls that could definitely be fixed if you wanted to, again, take yourself up a notch into that architectural and interiors world rather than just the real estate world. So you have some great shots. Like I love how you use, light and shadow, a very natural feel to this, great directional light, whereas compared to this bathroom shot, everything is just, like I said before, it's kind of nuked. I feel like you used some, I could be wrong, but whether it's flash or flat lighting from above, it's very flat. I would turn off the lights here, let this window be your predominant source of light. If you wanted to add a little bit of light painting, of course, feel free, but this feels very flat, very neutral. This shot has much more of a dynamic feel to it. And this one too, like I love that natural light coming in. Not the highest end property, and again, as I've said in past videos, this kind of feels like, my first staging kit starter pack. But the light here and composition is much better than your lead image. So I would, consider changing it up a bit. Same kind of comment here. This is like a picture of a bed. You have this amazing view, but we have a photograph of a bed. So I'd consider, what is most important in these photos. Is it the view or the bed or what? Here's a twilight and kitchen shot. I was looking at this previously, and I personally am not a religious man, but I don't know what your thoughts are on this. If you want to comment, I do shoot a lot of homes with like religious things written or displayed for real estate. You're trying to sell the house. I've always taken that stuff out. You could probably just do this in Photoshop really quickly, but personally, I think in the world we live in, I think less people would care about that. What am I getting at here? I like to remove all signs of personal, religious, all that stuff. I say pull it out. That's my point. And again, like it's not the biggest deal, but you never know. I would just nix it. Here we have a living room. Again, you got some nice compositions when you don't nuke everything, and you have turned off the lights. You've gone for some moodier things. I do think this needs a bit more staging, but I don't know if this was for a designer or real estate. Seems like real estate, but it needs a table, needs some more chairs to kind of fill the room out. Same comment here. All right. I think this is a great shot. Compared to some of the other work, it's much stronger. I don't think we need to see so much of the toilet, but compared to this shot, which it feels like there's only half of a picture here, like the right-hand side feels like a complete photo. You can almost crop 30% of that photo out and make a better shot. This one feels a bit stronger. Kitchen, seems like real estate, needs some staging. Bedroom, yeah, could be for a designer or something. And here's a house photo. It looks like the verticals are off a little bit here. I would perfect that 1-point perspective. That's a tongue twister. Perfect the 1-point perspective and then re-upload it to the site. Just give it a little more of some straightening. And so my takeaway from this portfolio is like you shoot real estate, but you want to do more high-end stuff because I feel like there's some semblance of high-end photography coming out, but it just needs to be tightened up in many, many ways. And I mean, what I would do, subscribe to Dwell, Architectural Digest, Elle Decor, the high-end magazines. Look how they're photographing things and try to mimic that in your own work. We've got a before and after page here. Let's check this out. Compare a normal single exposure photo to fully lit and retouched photos. Just sit up. All right, I'm going to go on a rant. If you are a professional of any kind, there should not be any grammatical errors, any typos anywhere on the website. And something that drives me crazy is comma butchery, and there's plenty of it here. Compare a normal single exposure photo to fully lit and retouched photos. Just simply move the slider. So if you need to hire a copywriter or a grammarian or some kind of editor to proofread your site for $100, it's money well worth it. People do judge when your grammar is not perfect. A lot of people don't care, but again, if you're going for a high-end client, that's one of the things that's very, very important. The slider seems pretty simple. I'm still worked up about the comma butchery. Slider seems like it works, does its job. My feeling here, I think you could choose some more dramatic transformations for this. If you're going to do the before and after slider, really make it sing. Like what we have down here, nothing really changes other than the lighting. When I had a before and after slider on my site, I made sure that I got the staging to change, I got the lighting, I got maybe sometimes the weather or lighting conditions that really sort of drove home a point. And the only thing that's really changing in these shots is the processing. So I feel like you could make better use of this tool and fix your commas. Rates and service. We'll check out this. I've never been a fan. All right. Successful agents know that the images they display depict their brand. I'm going to turn this back around on you and say successful photographers know that the images that they display also depict their brand. So I would go for like I've been saying, very consistent. If you're going to sell this, you're going to have to really, really make sure everything is very on point and that you can't just say it, you have to show it as well. I don't know if you need to have this language. I think a good realtor, one who would hire you, is going to know what photography will do for them. I don't think you need to say this. All packages warrant a free sky replacement. I know I've had a lot of real estate photographers say, "Oh, I live in Seattle and that's expected." I still think you should charge for it. It's basically Photoshop magic to a lot of agents who aren't familiar with photography, and you could be missing out on money by doing that. I think pretty much, yeah, I would say remove this page from your site and put all this in an information sheet that you send to clients who are interested. A lot of people might see your rates, especially architects and designers, and they might think he can't even be good for what he charges. Because designers, they'll see that you charge 170, 200, 250, and they'll be like, I don't even trust him to do my project. I know I need to pay a few grand, and this guy says he's only going to charge $225 for real estate. How good can he be? So what I would do is I would take this off entirely, and I would make sure that you approach each project individually in terms of pricing. And it says rates. Yeah, I mean, personally, I would, like I said, ditch this page and assess every inquiry on an individual basis and decide whether they're an architectural inquiry or interior design or commercial, hotel, whatever, or real estate, because architects are going to see this, or designers or hotels or whoever, and they're going to think there's no way that you can handle the job that they want to throw at you if this is what you charge. Even though it's a different kind of photography, they're just going to kind of think that it's low end. So I would ditch it entirely. Blog. Let's see here. Yeah, I mean, it does feel a little salesy and very geared towards real estate. If that's what you want to do, that's fine. I would just make it a point to make it clear that you focus on real estate, or make it clear that you focus on architecture and go for a higher end thing, because this kind of language down here isn't going to ever get you hired by an interior designer or an architect. I do like that the blog posts look regular. It looks like you're on top of it, so I'd keep doing it. But again, I would just reassess who your clients are. Okay, so I would write the whole thing in the first person. You're a small business. I think people know it's just you. You don't have a team working for you. And I think it makes you more approachable. So I would just think about rewriting this in the first person. And it just, again, it seems like for real estate, it's fine. If you want to get into higher end work, it seems a little bit salesy and kind of not high end. I don't want to say low end, but it just seems a little bit too salesy for me. Like, contact us. Just put contact me. We know you're not fooling anyone. You don't have 10 people working for you. It's just you. You seem like a great guy, and I wouldn't have no problem knowing that. And like I said, own it. Show people what you can do. Don't try to, be excessive in the boasting or anything. You've got testimonials. That's fine. Prep list. Again, this is something you can send in an informational sheet before you are hired. Let's just check out the testimonials real quick. I would combine this with the About Christian page. Pick 2 or 3 of the best, put them down here, slim up some of this copy right here, and write it in the first person. I think it'll help a lot. And contact, let's see. Looking good. I think you only need 1 picture. We got it in the About. I would ditch that. But totally a personal call. Or maybe put 2 pictures. I have 2 shots on my About page. You might want to do the same as well. But I think this is, pretty normal. Nothing crazy here jumps out. Instead of just saying comment, parenthesis, required, I would say tell us a little more, or tell me a little bit more about the job that you're inquiring about. Just so you have some information about what people want. And again, if you say, what kind of job is this? You'll know if it's an architect or a designer or a realtor trying to contact you. Then you can send them the appropriate information in your email. You'll know more about them. So I hope that was a valuable critique. There was a lot to talk about. I don't know how long this went. A little longer than 10 minutes probably, but a lot, like I said, a lot to teach and a lot to improve on. And like I said, you're a pretty young guy. I think if you make these tweaks and keep working at this, in 5 or 10 years, you'll have an amazing business going. So that's my advice. And until next time, again, hope you enjoyed. If you want to learn more about how you can submit your website or portfolio for a critique, check out the link below, and I'll see you guys next time.